Alright, welcome. Here we are, we're back to catching up. We're on War 8, even though the season is over. You guys are still gonna get these videos. Alright, so this time we have Spider-Punk, Negasonic, and Hulkling. Haven't used Hulkling in a hot minute, so you know, this is like fun to do again. One of those 7 stars we are still waiting on. But hey, first fight we have here is against future Ant-Man, so we're just waiting. We were waiting for his glancing to fall off. Sure, we could have went for the intercept and got rid of it early, but hey, it's better be safe than sorry. Like, I'm very cautious when it comes to war. BGs, oh absolutely, I would have went for it. So at this point, we're just trying to bait out the SP2. You know, we block it. Like I said, I'm just very cautious in BGs. War, not war. I'm very cautious in war. BGs, oh yeah, we would have went for the Dex on the SP2. But, you know, you screw up and that SP2 is like game over. So we got the Nerf power back boost, so we're at like 1.9 bars of power. And now we're just getting ready to fire another SP2 on his block to end things. And unfortunately we didn't. I don't know why I didn't just throw the SP1 there. I guess looking back I just saw that, hey, my unblockable is still active. But there we have it. Path 3, don't remember the node, future Ant-Man is down. And now we have a Korg. Even though I just looked at those nodes, I already forgot what they were. So here, we're just gonna apply the mutant power boost, or special boost, whatever. Not the power bags, but you get the idea. So to be honest, I don't know if I play around whatever those charges are. Okay, this is the auto block node, so yeah. As long as we have the passive stun, Korg can't auto block us. So the goal here for me is just spam SP1, build the incinerates that way, and just let them melt, you know. We want to get our heavies in when we can, keep our incinerate vulnerability up so he takes even more damage. But yeah, we can at least get 3 hits off. Looks like 4, you can actually get 4 off guaranteed. And unfortunately I lost all of my incinerates. Gotta love it. But hey, we're still at like full health, so it's not like we're not gonna get the fight down. It's just, you know, slow, steady, annoying. I'm pushing my luck. I am really pushing my luck looking back at this. But hey, we're here to bait out a special. We're still like, you know, dang near full. Luckily, that evade saved us and we didn't get punished trying to punish his SP2 with our heavy. But hey, you know, you're meant to have fun sometimes. And like I said, that was just me pushing my luck, getting auto block, taking big damage. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I need to calm down. I think I have another another Negasonic fight, and I'm like, bro, your potions. You know, potions get expensive. As you can see, I healed up Hulkling and Negasonic. So she could have been avoided potions, but yeah. So here we are against Bastion. What did I apply? An invulnerability boost at So I can't remember. I think I fought Bastion on a previous war or whatever, but my plan here is, I really don't remember the fight plan. I just remember blocking how it said I'll block his specials and just be safe and okay. But yeah, so I want to at least go ahead and get my 4 Pierce up. And we get our intercept to put the protection on cooldown. We got a big juicy fury, so we want to try to throw our SP2 while that is active. Now here we go, we block the SP2 because I'm a scrub and I'm not all that used to his animation still. And at this point I see that, hey, I can hit his block while I have this falter thing active. And we threw the SP2 into his block because we knew we had enough charges to a point where we could get unblockable. And due to that, I lost every single one of my charges. We pushed him red. We have no invulnerability boost left. And luckily, he just happens to run into us, so we get an intercept on the spot and get our big damage and avoid the protection. So, you know, once I pushed him red, I was just like, oh boy, this is about to go downhill. Luckily, it did not. Lady Luck really be with me. I tell people I'm 99% luck, 1% skill in this game, and they don't believe me. As you can see, that was my 99% luck kicking in. Alright, so here we have a Destroyer, Path 5. You know, Destroyer has the Unstoppable if you try to intercept him. So, with Spider-Punk, as long as we parry, we get an evade counter. If we do it when Destroyer dashes in, it counts as an intercept. So that's an easy way to get things in. The goal here is just do that and, you know, get our SP2s off. SP2 and SP1 is basically the plan. So here we're trying to bait out his SP2, and unfortunately, yeah, we were just off for whatever reason. But I'm like, and on top of that, I missed 2 of the movements on my SP2. So the damage was like, you know, 1/3 of what it could have been. And at this point, we're like, okay, it's cool. We'll just do this again. No, it does have Mighty Charge, so every time he dashes in, all of our like rupture and physical vulnerabilities are gone. So our damage is kind of gimped on this fight, but you know, Spider-Punk is safe. So here we go again. You can see that time we lined it up perfectly, but unfortunately the protection wore off. Came back, so we lost all the rupture we were about to apply that we're going to take away. And for whatever reason, I messed up the SP2 dex again. Now this time I'm like, okay, I have 2% health. I can't afford to take a hit on my block. I'm trying not to push him to SP1 because I don't want that protection to go off. And this time I'm like, I just have to make sure I dex every SP2. Like, you know, it's like I don't want him to go back there, but I can't afford him to throw SP1 and I start taking damage back. They had unfazed, so their evade kicked in, but luckily everything lasted longer than their unstoppable. And at this point, you know, we're just trying to play like a madman and not die. We nailed all 3 perfects on the SP2 that round. And it was like the last half of that fight where I was on 2%, I played godly compared to the first 98% of my health. So I just had to pause for a moment like, we survived. We survived. Yeah. Shout out to my officer. I just noticed his message in the chat saying forgotten OP. He probably saw the health I came out of that fight with. And I'm just like, man, whew. My cheeks were clenched on that one. So at this point, I think this is my final fight for this war. We have Negasonic versus Bullseye. And, you know, it's a pretty typical Nega versus Bullseye fight. This node also makes it easier to push Bullseye to an SP2. So, you know, we can feel free to do that. We're going to put another 12% on. And we'll go ahead and put on this 200% since we're not using Hulkling anymore. Although with Negasonic, a lot of her damage is from the DOT Incinerate, so the 200% power back, it's not all that beneficial, I would probably say, but hey, any little bit extra power, we're going to take it. So for me personally, I always start with a parry medium heavy. This gives me 1 Incinerate and allows me to place a Incinerate vulnerability on the opponent. Now, due to the node, you know, Bullseye has less combat power gain when he's at 2 or 3 bars of power. I think I'm gonna assume I have an invulnerability boost since I did this. And I gained back a lot more power than I actually thought. But then again, I was already at like almost 3 bars of power. So in reality, it wasn't that much. And hey, we get another SP2 off. We go in, I'm assuming I applied a vulnerability boost. And we did. So we take that baseball to the dome. And we fire an SP1 to end it. So, you know, that fight went pretty smoothly. Bullseye only managed to throw off one special. Nega kinda counters all of his base abilities as long as you don't get hit and turn and lose your ability to evade yourself. Alright. Seeing as how I didn't apply any energy refills, I'm going to take it as this was all I had to do for this war, which it was. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to try to knock out the rest of these wars this weekend. So until next time, peace.